Hey, what's up everybody? In this video, I'm going to react to this video on YouTube that I found called This Roofing Contractor Makes Millions. Hope you enjoy.
Some people say you can't move up in America anymore, that the lower you start on the ladder, the likelier it is you'll stay there. Well, if that's the case, then someone forgot to tell this guy.
I'll make it rain.
Because he decided early in his life that nobody was going to hold him back. And with relentless focus and unyielding optimism, he climbed his way to wealth, one rung at a time.
I tell anybody who will listen, the money in the trades is crazy. If you read any articles in the newspaper, online, especially in Texas, most namely Dallas-Fort Worth, skilled tradespeople are at an all-time high demand right now. This guy sounds like he's got a good story.
Meet Glenn Fidel.
My name's Glenn Fidel. I'm a professional roofer with tons of business, and that's why I'm on top of the world. I handle all aspects of roofing. There's no job too difficult.
Especially commercial roofing. Commercial roofing is awesome. It's extremely profitable, especially re-roofing and commercial repairs. The tough part about commercial roofing is that it takes a really long time from beginning to end when you actually get paid on the job, but the jobs are so big, you're talking about life-changing money if you land a commercial roofing contract.
Residential shingle roofs, siding jobs, window jobs, gutters, all the way up to shopping centers that are in themselves a $300,000 or $400,000 project.
Having a diverse skill set, offering a number of different things that are all either in the same vertical or in parallel verticals is really important to profitability. If you only offer one thing, then your demographic, it gets pretty small. But if you offer several things, as long as they align with your core competencies, you can build on your profit margins and you can build on your skills, and you can also build on your client base. When you start a company, you start with a client and then you start building more and more of a client base, then maybe hire some sales guys, some operations people, office guys or gals, other sales guys or gals, and you start to grow. If they can offer more products that sell at a high profit margin and it's not getting too far outside of your core competency, then you're really going to see your profit margins spike for sure.
Roofing is very brutal work. You have the elements you have to battle, black dust all over you. Sometimes you tear off hazardous materials that would make your skin burn. Terrible on the body.
There's no doubt about it. Roofing is one of the most physical trades. All the materials, the hot, the cold materials that you're using, the damaging materials like asbestos, things of that nature, but also the weather. High wind, people don't think about that. You're up on top of a really tall roof, very steep roof, and the wind kicks up 30 miles an hour. You got to be extremely careful. All of those things contribute to making roofing a very, very demanding trade to be in.
But I make millions of dollars doing it. Every time I climb this ladder, I get excited because there's more money in the bank.
Coolest thing about starting a contracting firm, I really like to actually see my work. So it's very satisfying. Instead of just pushing ones and zeros around, you actually get to put men and material on a job site and build something. That's very satisfying. The money for me was actually secondary. And now that I've been running with a team, I'd say the money is now third, because watching my team succeed, there's really nothing like it to run a full payroll on payday and see people's eyes light up when their financial futures change. You got to try it sometime. It's pretty damn awesome.
Profit steadily around 10% of total volume. Industry average for a company that size is between 6 and 8. And I think that's really attributed to the accountability with the guys.
Accountability. Accountability equals profitability. You can have the best people in the world and everyone comes into a day with great intentions, but when traffic or weather or kid problems jump in there, it really cuts down on productivity. So you got to keep your eyes on the guys, and they don't respect what you don't inspect. So you've got to keep everyone accountable. Best way to do that these days is with technology. Whether you're using an app, a cloud-based app to draw up all of your photos, any photos that you take of the project showing progress, however you do it, you got to keep people accountable if you want to stay profitable.
Give them a goal and incentive then you can get the best work out of them, and that's what's going to bring the profit. So at 15 million of last year, 10% would have put us at about 1.5 million in profit, which is just like awesome.
Margins all vary. This looks like the East Coast, Delaware. It all depends kind of if you're doing retail work or insurance work, at least from my experience. I know that the profit margins in insurance claims can be much higher than that. Commercials are on hard bid a lot of times. You don't get to run a claim very often on a commercial project unless you have a real special relationship. That's why networking is so important. Such a big important part of building a hometown company, and I think he's going to talk about that in a minute.
I was always a straight hustler from the beginning. Growing up, I was the oldest of 10 children, and my parents, they just weren't able to give us so much. I wanted much more than that, so I had to figure out a way. I remember cleaning gutters was a great hustle.
Yeah, man, entrepreneurship, it gets its start in all of us in a different way. I used to shovel driveways as well, rake leaves, mow lawns, and then do general handyman fixes all over. And when you can figure out how to charge more than you have to pay to get the job done, the entrepreneurial spark just sort of takes off and ignites a flame, because you see what's possible and you don't have to actually be doing the work yourself. Now, having good people doing that work for you is very important, but also selling that job at a high enough markup so that you're able to profit from it. That stuff starts to get exciting when you first learn about it.
I started roofing. It was summertime for my Uncle John. It was just brutal grunt work. And honestly, I didn't like it at all, but I'd take anything to make some money. My girlfriend's mom at the time, which is now my mother-in-law, she needed to get a roof on. She needed to get it on fast. Bring a couple guys in, pay them cash, $200 each, finished it in a day, and I ended up making like $800 off this in one day. So I was like, this is more than 2 weeks' pay. I'm onto something here.
Roofing is dangerous work. It's not work that a homeowner can do. It's also not work usually that a homeowner ever has done, or a business owner. They need something done that they don't know how to do. The margins in roofing are generally higher than they are in other construction trades. It's one reason why you see so many roofing companies, because there is a big upside. The good contractors who know what they're doing, they're able to keep their overhead low, their profits high. The roofing business is, in my opinion, one of the best businesses to be in.
He was onto something, all right. And it wasn't long before this straight-up hustler straight up started his own business.
I started G Fidel Roofing in 2002. I was 23 years old. I found out that a lot of guys that come in, start up a company, use subcontractors, and then they shut it down and go to the next place.
I really admire people who start something and then build it there in their community, because then they build around the community and they also build the community at the same time they're building their business. These guys who show up from out of town and knock on your door and want to replace your roof, hey, to each their own. You gotta put food on the plate of your children. But what I have found though is that quality starts to plummet when you get too far away from your home base. And I think you can always tell, we can, because when these storm chasers leave, we start getting calls at the office, hey, can you come help me? My roofer won't answer. He won't pick up. And we end up having to come in, save the day. I admire what he's saying, and I also admire people who build in their community and also build their community while they're building their companies.
By hiring full-time employees and building long-term relationships, Glenn doesn't just help his company, he helps his community.
Our roots are in Delaware, and people see a major employer for the area. You're supporting these families, and you're giving people opportunity. I'm expecting this year, I'll probably see us around 16 million. We have on payroll over 70 employees. I'd say our overhead is estimated between $50,000 and $100,000 a week. This is considered commercial, and it's about 40% of our work. Working on a shopping center, about 60,000 square feet of roof replacement. And if done properly, you can make 15% on it.
The money's there if you know what you're doing. If you don't manage your men and your material properly, you're gonna get upside down pretty quick. He said he's pretty much self-taught. I am as well. I've made plenty of mistakes. I learned from those mistakes. Actually, I think we learn best from mistakes, not from successes. And he seems like he's a self-reliant guy too. Those profit margins that he keeps talking about, they're real. This isn't just a fluff piece. These profit margins are very real.
My home down here in Hocassin, Delaware, dream home. We've got 5 bedrooms, got a full basement, full backyard, pool, big bar out there, big bar in the basement.
But when you dream as big as Glenn, one home doesn't cut it.
You want to create a couple of passive streams of income while you're focused on your main job, which is, selling roofing. Picking up real estate is one of the best ways to build wealth long term. The cool thing about roofing is you learn about homes and buildings. You learn how they're put together, you learn to start to see value. And when you're working locally, you also start to see the different real estate markets. So you're able to tell where your investment dollars are going to be best spent, because again, you're working in your community all the time, so you can see, hey, this side of town is really on the rise, I want to buy a commercial building over there, or hey, I want to buy a rental house over here. Once you start to build those resources, investing in real estate is an outstanding way to build wealth long term.
I started buying real estate about 10 years ago, and since then I've been able to open a tattoo shop, an art gallery, and I most recently got into the restaurant business. So all those things combined, bringing in about over $10 million in gross and over $1 million in profit.
I think it's really cool. He's investing, he's got all these other interests. I would just one word of caution. If you're gonna invest in real estate, I would recommend putting property manager in place to manage whatever your rental assets are, so they can run interference and you're not taking calls from your roofing clients and calls from your real estate rental clients. Buy those investments. You need those investments. You need that passive income to build wealth. Put a layer of management in there to manage that passive income, those real estate investments. If you chase two rabbits, you never catch one. You got to catch one and then go after the next one, keeping your focus on the daily, on your team, on your product, on your culture. Super important on that company side where you're building your resources. You don't want to get too distracted. That was fun. Hope you enjoyed that. Some of these videos get a little fluffy and surface level, but I think the message in this video is good. Hard work pays off, and also accountability equals profitability. Keep your eye on the prize. Learn a valuable skill like sales, and it'll take you a long ways.